All right, basketball fans, let's get right into it. We've got some seriously awesome games to break down tonight.
Last night was, it was a good one.
Yep.
Lots to unpack, for sure.
Absolutely. So we'll try and hit the highlights, but man, there were some close games out there.
Yeah, some real nail biters. And some blowouts, too.
Right. Like, okay, let's start with Lakers Nets.
Okay.
Now, on paper, I was like, but man, this one got good.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Nets, and they've been playing well, right?
Yeah.
Bridges has really been stepping up.
He has.
So on paper, you'd think they'd have the advantage.
For sure, but basketball's not played on paper.
Right. Haha.
That first quarter, though, the Nets' ball movement was insane. They were just picking the Lakers apart.
And Bridges came out firing, too. I was really impressed with how they were using him, not just isolating him,
Right.
running off screens, decoy plays. It really messed with the Lakers' defense.
It was like a textbook offense. But then AD decided to wake up.
Oh, yeah.
26 points, 14 rebounds. He was a monster.
And his impact. You can't just look at the stats. He changed the whole game.
Oh, totally.
He was altering shots, protecting the rim. The Nets couldn't drive on him,
It was like he single-handedly flipped the momentum.
pretty much. Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got LeBron hitting that clutch three with like under a minute left.
Oh, man, that was a big one. The arena was going crazy.
It was electric. And,
Yeah.
that's LeBron, right? Always delivers when it matters.
Exactly. And it's not just the scoring. It's the leadership. He controls the whole flow of the game.
Totally. But okay, the ending, okay. Bridges drives to the basket. Looks like he's going to win it for the Nets.
I was on the edge of my seat.
And bam, AD with the block.
Yeah.
Game over.
What a play. Defense wins championships, right?
Right. Okay, let's switch gears. Total different vibe. Grizzlies just destroyed the Spurs.
Yeah, that was a beatdown. Just pure offense.
You got to remember, though, Grizzlies are young and hungry. Spurs are rebuilding. So different situations.
For sure. But man, Ja Morant was electric.
Oh, he was on fire.
30 points, layups, threes. He was putting on a show.
Morant's the kind of player who gets you out of your seat every time.
Every play could be a highlight.
And it wasn't just him, though, right? Desmond Bane had 25 points. Jaren Jackson Jr. was a wall on D.
That's what makes Memphis scary.
Mm.
They're not just a one-man team.
no.
They can hurt you from anywhere.
Sadly for Spurs fans, it was a rough night.
Right.
Wembanyama had that cool dunk, though.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
But yeah, the Grizzlies were just too much.
Too much firepower.
Yeah.
That game really solidified Memphis as a contender in the West.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely a team to watch.
Two young point guards going head-to-head.
Luka magic was real.
Oh, for sure.
Almost a triple-double, 32 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists.
Doncic is just incredible. He can do it all.
He does.
Scoring, rebounding, passing. He's the whole package.
But the Thunder kept it close, thanks to SBA.
Yeah, Gilgeous-Alexander was playing great. So smooth, but he just couldn't quite get him over the hump.
He's fun to watch, though. Right?
Yeah, he's got a bright future for sure.
Big thing for Dallas, though, Kyrie stepped up Hugh GE in the fourth.
Oh, yeah, that was key. They needed that from him.
When you've got Luka A and D Kyrie on your team,
Yeah.
that's got to be tough to defend.
No kidding. Two elite scorers like that.
Yeah. In the end, though, the Mavs D shut down the Thunder's outside shooting.
That's often the difference, right?
Absolutely. Okay, let's go to Milwaukee Bucks dominated the Raptors.
No surprise there, right?
I mean, maybe a little. The Raptors are no slouches. But with the addition of Dame.
Oh, yeah. That changes things.
It does.
You've got Giannis, Andy Lillard. Now, that's a scary duo.
Giannis was unstoppable, 35 and
Was
12.
dominating inside.
I mean, the Raptors tried, but there was just no stopping him.
When he's like that, it's almost unfair.
And then you add Dame Time into the mix, 28 points, 8 assists.
They complement each other so well.
They do.
Giannis in the paint, Dame from outside.
Siakam and Barnes tried for the Raptors. They combined for 45 points.
They played hard, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, when you're facing that kind of offensive firepower and the Bucks transition game, tough to keep up.
This game just shows how good the Bucks can be when they're clicking like that.
Okay, last one. Nuggets beat the Heat in Miami.
Statement win for sure.
They really outplayed them.
The Nuggets, they're the champs for a reason.
They've
Got a system, and they execute it flawlessly.
Jokić was masterful.
Oh, as always.
29 points, 13 assists, 12 rebounds.
It's another triple-double.
But it's more than that. He just controls the whole pace of the game.
She's the engine that drives that team.
Absolutely. Can't forget Jamal Murray, either 25 points, some clutch threes that silenced that Miami crowd.
He's so crucial for them. Takes the pressure off Jokić.
He does. They really complement each other.
They do. They're a tough duo to stop.
For sure. The Heat struggled to keep up. Butler had 24.
Yeah, he tried, but it was a team loss for them.
Their shooting wasn't there. Their D wasn't there.
This game just confirms what we already knew. The Nuggets are for real. They're playing at a championship level.
Wow. What a night.
Yeah, some incredible games for sure.
Blowouts, close games, some amazing individual performances. So much to unpack.
That's the NBA for you. Never a dull moment.
Seriously. So which team impressed you the most tonight?
That's a tough one.
It is. There were some great performances.
There were.
Yeah.
What about you? Anyone stand out?
I'm going to have to think about that one. We'll come back to that.
Okay, sounds good.
But seriously, folks, what a night of basketball. We'll be back with part 2 of our deep dive into all this action, so stay tuned.
Yeah, lots more to talk about.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.
You know, it's crazy to see how the league's changing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's getting younger, faster, more versatile.
Totally. And speaking of change, how about those Bucks? Adding Dame to a team with Giannis already? That's bold.
It is. It's a real statement. But it's not just about adding another star.
Right.
It's about the dynamic.
Exactly.
Add new energy.
Their game against the Raptors was like a masterclass in how 2 superstars can elevate a team.
Yeah, for sure.
But the question is, can they coexist? Can they share the ball, the spotlight, without losing what makes them great?
That's the big question, right? It's one thing to have talent, but you got to make it work together.
Chemistry, sacrifice, all that.
Exactly.
And we're starting to see it with the Bucks, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Giannis is still Giannis, right? That force of nature. But he's adapting. He's passing more. Kicking it out to Dame for those threes.
He is. He's trusting his teammates more.
And Dame's not trying to force it either.
No.
He's picking his spots, letting the game come to him.
Finding that balance.
Exactly. And you know what else I noticed? The Bucks bench played with so much energy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Dame's arrival sparked something in the whole team.
It's contagious, right?
Yeah.
When you have a player like that, with that intensity.
It lifts everyone up.
For sure. The Bucks are playing with a swagger now.
Yeah.
They believe they can win it all.
Okay, speaking of contenders, we gotta talk Nuggets.
Yeah.
Beating the Heat in Miami, that's a statement.
The proving last year wasn't a fluke.
No.
They're the real deal.
Jokić, man, what a player. Another triple-double.
Because a machine.
29, 13, and 12.
And it's not just the numbers, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's how he controls the game.
Effortlessly.
He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Right.
A basketball savant.
And Jamal Murray. Clutch threes, silencing that Miami crowd.
He was huge for them.
The chemistry between him and Jokić is unreal.
It is. They have this unspoken connection.
It's like they're reading each other's minds out there.
You know where they're going to be before they do.
And their defense. They locked down the Heat in the 4th.
They did. They're a complete team.
That's what makes them so dangerous.
They can beat you in so many ways.
Oh.
Offense, defense, experience.
Okay, so after all these crazy games
Yeah.
and everything we've talked about, what's the one thing you want listeners to take away?
That's a good question.
It is.
I think the biggest takeaway is that the NBA is in a great place right now.
It is.
The talent is incredible. The games are exciting. The future is bright.
Couldn't agree more. All right, folks, that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive, but don't go anywhere. We've got more to discuss coming up in part 3.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
All right, so we've talked individual players, we've talked teams, but let's look at the bigger picture now.
Yep. Let's zoom out a bit.
What are some of the trends, the storylines that are shaping this season?
Well, one thing that jumps out is those new rules.
Right.
Right. The ones about cutting down on those ticky-tack fouls.
Exactly. They wanted to open up the game, encourage more offense.
And it feels like it's working.
Yeah. It seems to be. I mean, you're seeing players actually get rewarded for skill moves.
Not just for flopping around.
Right. So there's less emphasis on drawing contact, more on creativity ball movement.
It makes for a more exciting game, I think.
It does, for sure. And it's forcing teams to adapt their strategies.
Which brings me to my next point. The rise of young stars.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like every night there's a new young player doing something amazing.
There are so many of them. It's incredible.
Morant, SGA, Dončić. But there are so many more.
Like Josh Giddey in OKC.
Oh, yeah.
His passing vision is unreal.
It's like the league's going through this youth movement.
It is. It's changing everything. Teams that used to be contenders are now facing serious challenges from these young squads.
For sure. And it's shaking up the whole landscape of the league.
Especially in the West.
Oh, the West is a bloodbath right now.
It is.
Grizzlies, Mavs, Nuggets, Clippers. It's anyone's game.
And in the East, you got the Celtics coming back strong.
They are.
And the Sixers, always a threat when healthy.
As always.
Feels like any team can make a deep playoff run this year.
I think so, too. It's so competitive. It's great for the fans.
It is. Every game feels like a playoff game.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen.
So after all that, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from tonight's deep dive?
That's a good question.
It is.
I think the biggest takeaway is that the NBA is in a great place.
It is.
The talent, the excitement, the competition, it's all there.
It's a great time to be a basketball fan.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for our deep dive into last night's NBA action.
It was a good one.
It was. But remember, this is just the beginning. Keep watching, keep debating, and most importantly, keep that love of basketball alive.
See you next time.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.